My name is Nick Nichols. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a run coach here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I was given the opportunity to try NAD Plus, and I wanted to see how it would help my mental clarity as well as my physical performance. I'm constantly put to the test each week with 60 plus hours of clients that I'm able to work with as a therapist, and then also run coaching, and then I'm also an ultra runner as well. So utilizing NAD Plus, it was more of a experiment for me to see how well it would allow me to perform even better at the task that I'm already doing. So I showed up at Prime IV, I checked in the receptionist, she took my temperature, she gave me an iPad, and it had everything in terms of my past medical history. I went through and completed that, and that was the first step of the process. So after I completed the intake process, a nurse came up, she brought me back to a private room. There they went over my blood pressure, checked all my vitals, went over my oxygen levels, all the questionnaire that I was able to fill out front. They went over that in depth. They reviewed past medical history, any medications that I was currently on, to make sure I'm a good candidate for NAD+. So after checking all my vitals and I got the green light to go into the next process, I went into a separate room, which they had zero gravity massage chairs. I was hooked up to oxygen, and then the nurse came in and finished hooking me up with the NAD infusion bag. So after the NAD infusion was already hooked up, the nurse came back in about 15 minutes to check on me, see how I was feeling, and I felt perfectly fine, and she then bumped it up to give me a faster drip, and through that, like, I felt an immediate rush.
It's like an instant, like almost like adrenaline spike, like it was like, oh, I'm ready to roll.
After that, that stabilized and I felt pretty good. I felt more of like a rush. I described it as almost like a rush of energy. I felt like adrenaline, like I felt warm, like my entire core felt warm, and it was a different sensation, but it was definitely, I don't know, different. For me personally, mine took about an hour and a half. Usually they take anywhere between 2 hours and over. For me, I didn't have any negative symptoms going through that. Some people feel sick, some people feel nauseous. For me, I felt pretty good. Like after they would bump it up to give me a faster drip, I felt that rush of immediate energy, but I felt pretty good the entire way. So once the drip actually ended, I could tell it ended before I actually looked up at the bag. I just felt more like normal again.
Like I just felt like it returned back to normal. Like I just felt that rush just stopped.
With the infusion, you get checked and monitored throughout the entire process to make sure you're doing all right and you're healthy through that. So once they unhook you, you're good to go and you can leave right there. After I left Prime IV, I was driving home and I felt just an immediate spike in terms of my mental clarity, and that's the reason why I came in anyway. Like I wanted to have that addressed and kind of improved, and I felt clear, my head was clear, I felt a very good return of energy for the rest of the day. So I noticed an immediate, almost night and day difference as soon as I had the infusion, and that level of clarity stayed for the rest of the day. The process that I did one infusion and I did 2 injections. So after I was done the infusion on Monday, I came in the next day and I got an injection, and they did the same process. They checked my vitals, make sure they checked my temperature, everything's good. They kind of addressed how I felt, and then I got an injection in my right glute. So I got 2 injections when I came in for the injection part of it. So I got a tri-amino injection, and then I also got the NAD Plus injection. So that process took about 5 minutes to actually get the injections, and for that is that you actually have to wait 15 minutes after you get the injection, and that's just to make sure that you're doing all right and all your vitals are good. And I felt the same similar reaction that I did with the infusion. I felt that increased energy spike. I felt really warm all throughout my body, and after 15 minutes my body was good and I felt normal, and they cleared me to go. So on day 3 when I came in, I had a really big training cycle doing ultra running, so I put on about 60 miles over that weekend. So coming in, my legs were really beat up, and after getting the injections on that day 3 is that I felt the energy, or the injections, it went right to my legs as opposed to feeling warm all over. I felt more of the sensation in the top of my legs and my hamstrings, and that's right where I was actually sore at. So coming from an athletic standpoint, is that was just different because that's where I was sore when I woke up that morning. So doing this review now, it's been about roughly 15 days since I had those 3 levels of treatment, and I still feel the mental clarity. I still feel the physical performance aspect that I noticed through that process too. I still have very, very good energy, so it was a very, very good success in my book. So I want to thank Prime IV for giving me the opportunity to work with them through this process, and I highly recommend this product to pretty much anybody, whether it's an athlete or you're struggling with just mental health and you want a little extra boost in terms of energy and mental clarity. It is a very, very overall a good thing.